Hmm. 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 Today, let's have a look at a really simple function that will do a bit of arithmetic for us. Here's the problem on the left-hand side here. Given two numbers and an arithmetic operator, the name of it as a string, return the result of the two numbers having that operator used on them. So it's only going to be positive numbers, and A will always be the first, B always the second. We can add, subtract, divide, multiply. That's the problem. We've got a few examples down the side here, ready to tell us if we got the right idea. And those examples are written as tests on the right-hand side for us as well. We also need to try to do it without using if statements. And we're going to completely ignore that one to start with. First of all, let's run these. And everything should break because we haven't written any code. And it does. Everything is a disaster. Fantastic. It's a good starting point because it can't get any worse from here. Let's get rid of some of these and focus on just getting addition working. So we just need to get this going. We should get 3 out of this, given that test. This is pretty simple. Let's just return, if we want to add A and B, we'll just say A plus B. And hooray. Now we've got a problem though because we need to make it do subtraction. This little inconvenient operator thing here has to actually get used somehow. So first step, let's actually get the test going again. Watch it break. And it does. Look, at least our addition still works, obviously. Then we need to get this subtraction working. So we can do this, which is great because we've got subtraction working, but now our addition's broken. So we have to write some more code. So let's fix this back up. And we'll go reach for that if statement that we were told not to use because screw you. All we have to do really is compare the operator against subtract. And if it's the same, we return A minus B. And of course, our test keeps us safe here because instead of subtract, I typed minus. That's not what we want. It needs to be subtract. So we'll put that in here instead. And we should all be good. Excellent. Now that that's fixed up, we can move on to multiply and divide. First step, get the test showing again. Fantastic. Let's do a bit of copy past it because what can go wrong? We'll put multiply in there. get it actually multiplying. And let's go check that that's working. There it is. Oh, same deal. Let's copy pasta. Divide. Everything passes. And I just realized I forgot to actually run the divide test before we did this. So let's get rid of that. Let's run that test and make sure it actually breaks without that code, and it does. So we're proving that that code is what makes divide work, which is good. Now, that all works, but there's this inconvenient little do it without if statements thing. So we need something other than if, and we're making that same decision based on operator there all the time. So let's go look up Google. We'll go find out what we can do with a switch statement in JavaScript. As a rule, you always ignore the W3 schools entry at the top and scroll down and go to the MDN entry that's usually the second one. And here we are. So this is great. This says the switch statement evaluates an expression. In our case, that's going to be our operator, matching the value to a case. So we can have a case for each of the kinds of operator. And it's going to look a lot like this code, probably with a bit less stuff in it. This is actually a really good starting point. So let's just copy it. And instead of this stuff, give ourselves a bit of room. We'll paste it in here. Actually copy this stuff. There we go. So that's going to be what we make our choice on, the operator. And then we've already got these values waiting here for us. We can just put them straight into the cases. And while I'm doing this, nothing should change in the behavior of the code. So all these tests should keep passing. And that's the really important bit while I'm refactoring. If I have to rewrite a test, I'm not refactoring anymore. So I can just paste these and the test will keep me safe. And if I muck something up, the test will tell me. Obviously, we need to actually get some code in here to do the job. We can just return the values. We don't have to worry about all the breaks and all that kind of stuff. And because I'm lazy, I can just use the default to actually deal with the addition because we're only allowed those 4 operators. The question says that there are always going to be those operators. There's no error handling here. We could always put that stuff in later, but for now, this is all I need. Certainly, it's the only thing that my tests tell me about, so I'm not going to go any further than that anyway. All right, let's see what we have. Good. We're passing and we didn't use an if statement. There is still a lot of repetition here, though. It's pretty wordy, and this switch operator isn't very portable. I can't really use this anywhere other than this particular chunk of code. But those operations are sort of a bit different to how I use them. They're like the operator is one concern, the operations are one concern, and then where I use them is sort of another. So let's go a step further. We can actually give ourselves a little structure that contains those operations and then just select which one we want. So let's do exactly that. Remember, in JavaScript, everything is really just a function. Functions are a first-class thing. I can pass them around. So I can actually get a little structure here that has the operators as the key, and then the value can actually be the operation, the actual function itself that I'm doing: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So let's do that. We'll put add as our first key here, and the value is a function that does addition. There it is. And let's do the same for the rest. Do a bit of copy pasting again, because again, what could go wrong? Again, we can grab these directly from here because that's what's getting used before. And who likes typing anyway? We'll subtract, multiply, divide, and get rid of the old code. And now we just got to use these operators somewhere. So I'll go and find the operator I need based on the operator that's coming into the arithmetic function up here. So put that in there. And we'll use A and B, that gets passed in. Oh, right, and we'll naturally need to put those as arguments in these little functions here. There we go. Run this. And if you were fast, you will have spotted the deliberate error where I accidentally used the word operator, not the actual argument. And you will have spotted the other deliberate error where I accidentally typed divide instead of multiply. But that's what the tests are for. Now we've got this nice little separation between where I'm using the operation and the operations themselves, which are all portable. So I can actually pass them around into other things if I wanted to. They could even go in their own file. There you go. Hope you learned something. Subscribe, like, etc.